Hi, I'm Luke Cardwell, and I have been practicing in the media for 6 years now. During this time, I have gained a vast amount of experience in both education and real-world environments. I recently started a job with the BBC as a camera operator for shows such as the Football League show. I see this as my way into the media industry, and throughout the duration of this documentary, I want to find out what other people view as their way in. We aim to travel across Rotherham in search of different opportunities that await people going into the media industry. We met up with various media practitioners along the way. Our first stop was at Rotherham College of Arts and Technology, where we met up with Natalie Gomez, a budding scriptwriter. We wanted to find out her opinion on the media industry and her progression in the media industry as well.
My name's Natalie Gomez, I'm 17 years old and I'm currently a media student at Rotherham College of Arts and Technology, studying media.
I see that you're into scriptwriting and you brought a script along today. Could you tell me a bit about the script?
Well, basically it's a story about a man who's got a job in a doctor's practice in England, and basically gets this opportunity to go abroad and study in their practice to gain more experience. But as this story goes along, he realises that if he can get more experience from the job. So he moves in and he meets these three guys, and it basically goes from there. They sort of get together, they meet each other. It's quite funny, it's sort of like a slapstick comedy, and they sort of meet together. He gets his job and he obviously meets his girlfriend who he really loves. So at the end of the film they move in together, and it's just quite funny. It's just really funny from there.
So do you have any other scripts in development as well as this one?
Yeah, I've recently just finished a short film that were for a college project, and I've recently just started 2 more feature films that are currently I'm writing still. One of them's called Mother Please. It's about this young guy, teenager, and basically his mother just keeps interrupting with his life, and he just wants to get on with his girlfriend and just have a life with her. But his mother's just really sort of a demanding person because she had a miscarriage when she was younger, so she doesn't want him to fall into the same trap as what he did. And the other 2 feature films I've started, one's called Hushed. It's about this guy and his mum gets killed, but it's a serious sort of film. It's not a comedy something that I'd normally write. And the other one's a comedy as well. It's written from an American point of view, and that's called Mascot. It's about this girl, and she comes out of this sort of homing centre, a prison, and she gets put in with this family because they can't have kids because the wife's had an hysterectomy. And yeah, they're the 2 that I'm currently writing.
Sounds good. So do you hope to have a career in scriptwriting?
I do, yeah, because since I was quite young I've always been interested in being creative and stuff. I was interested in art, and then that led to drawing, and then that led to being creative in writing as well.
So has college allowed you to enhance your scriptwriting skills or your creative skills in general?
I do feel that because some units that we've done, especially theory units, I think have really helped me with my English. I mean, when I was at school I weren't exactly the brightest kid.
We managed to get out on a shoot with Natalie and got to see her in action. I asked various questions pertaining to on-location media work. So what are you here filming today?
Well, we've got a project which is Unit 22, single camera techniques, and basically we're just filming a few establishing shots in partnership with the trailer. Also we're filming a few out of focus shots because one of the characters is an alcoholic, so we're sort of reflecting a background with the shots.
Is production also an aspect that you'd like to work on alongside scriptwriting?
It is, because with scriptwriting you're obviously directing yourself when you write the script, so I think it's important that directing a project when filming it is quite good as well, because it's your vision and it's your idea, so it's perfect for filming the actual project.
What aspects do you think are your strongest in terms of production work, so cameras or sound?
I would say directing is one. Again, we're directing a script, writing it is your vision. Script writing, again, yeah, that's quite an important aspect because I'm really creative with what I do. And I would say sort of producing, because I've been on that role for quite a long time. I've pursued that role throughout college for the past 2 years, and I've really come to terms with the role, and I'm really familiar with it now.
Can you explain the process of your idea throughout the different stages of production, so pre-production, production and post-production?
First pre-production, we managed to get a proposal together, start writing the characters, sort of their preferences and who they are, etc. And then we started putting the idea together, mapping a few storyboards out and mapping a few locations, sort of like camera plans, floor plans, location plans. And then we started to take a few location records of the actual where we were going to film and putting a production schedule together, and then that led on to writing the script and adding the characters, adding the locations into it, and then we sort of developed the script further, and that's really the end of the pre-production stage that we did.
How was education? I'm sorry again. How has going through education helped develop your skills in this type of production?
It's helped a lot, especially with my English again. That's really helped a lot. Last year when we did as corporate projects, and this year when we did as corporate projects for Rotherham Council, when you have to negotiate with clients, you have to use like transferable skills to get your idea across, pitch your idea, get that across. So I really think that my English has improved because of that. And as well, again with theory units, they really help because you have to sort of express your views, express your opinions, and use English that is relevant to the actual unit itself, so I think that's really helped.
We managed to come across another media student, Rob Straw. We wanted to find out the same information as we did with Natalie, but this time Rob specialised in radio. So, hello Rob.
Hello.
Could you introduce yourself, please?
I'm Robert Straw. I'm a level 3 level 3 media student here at RCAT.
So, I know you're interested in radio.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing radio?
Well, I've been doing it for 3 years at the Hallamshire Hospital in Sheffield. Started off as a co-presenter on Wednesday nights. Now I'm presenting it on my own, and I'm also the training coordinator on the committee. So if anybody wants to learn how to use the desk, like this one, for example, I'm the one who shows them how to do it.
Right. Could you tell me the process of getting into that job?
How I applied for it?
Yeah, how you
I just went on the website, and there's a section that says volunteer, so I just click volunteer, gave my email address, why I want to join them, and the next day the membership coordinator sent me a time and date to come for an interview, and that's when you do the process of bringing references, and you have to do a CRB check as well, so that's it. It happened quite quick.
So do you hope to have a career in radio?
Possibly. It's something that I'm interested in. I mean, I'm still doing it now. I'm doing it sometimes twice a week, on Friday nights as well. Not presenting, just co-presenting, just helping somebody else out right now. And I'm doing it once a week at college as well.
So, I mean, I know you work at Hallamshire Radio Hospital. So, are you aware of any other local opportunities that involve radio?
Yeah, there's a community station called Sheffield Live, which is opposite the train station in Sheffield, next to the showroom, if anybody's been there. I think there are other community radio stations. I think there's one it's Pittsmore. I think there's one there, but I don't know what it's called. But apart from that, they're the only ones I know about. Oh, there's Forge Radio as well at Sheffield University, but I think you have to be a student there to be involved.
Like moving on from radio, are there any other similar avenues that you'd like to take or would consider taking within the media?
Yeah, I think TV is one that interests me a lot. I've done a multicam unit a few months ago as part of my college assignment, which was really interesting. I mean, I think that's the assignment I've enjoyed the most. And after that, I asked one of my tutors, Sarah, if she could give me any contact details for somebody involved in that industry, and she gave me an email for somebody called Bill Blackburn, who works at Claremont Media and covers football matches in South Yorkshire, and I emailed him, and that's what I'm doing now, filming football games and getting experience in that.
So, do you see the media industry, do you see it as a viable option as a job?
Definitely. I mean, there's lots of people make a living out of it. Some people make a very good living out of it, and it's kind of everywhere, really. I mean, you've got TV, radio, film, you've got newspapers, online stuff as well. I mean, sort of the last 10 or 15 years, exploded and given anybody a chance to start their own website and do it that way. So it's definitely a viable job option. Might not be a proper job in some people's eyes, but it's still a job.
So I travelled to Bramall Lane to see Rob Straw in action in his training for the BBC, which he does alongside his radio work. So Rob, can you tell me what you're doing here today?
I'm filming Sheffield United versus Coventry. It's part of sort of an ongoing work experience / training thing with Claremont Media.
Is production also an aspect you would like to work on alongside your radio production?
Definitely. I mean, it's something that I never really knew about before I started coming to RCAT, and then did an assignment called Multicam, and that sort of sparked an interest in the TV side of media, and that's where I got involved with this and really enjoying it so far.
What aspects do you think are your strongest in terms of production work?
Well, I think directing so far. I mean, I've done directing for a corporate project and directing a multicam project, and that's a bit I've enjoyed so far. Sort of having more control and being able to make decisions. That's what I like about that.
Has going through education helped develop your skills in this type of field?
Definitely. I mean, if I'd come into this from a non sort of college background, I think I'd definitely be struggling to sort of pick it up. But because I've been at college for a while, I sort of know what I need to do. I know how things should look, and so it's definitely made it easier. It's sort of given me a good grounding.
So finally, where do you see yourself heading in the media industry?
Well, I would like to become a multicam director eventually. I'm not sure how long that takes, but I'm willing to work my way up.
Finding out the information we wanted, it was clear to see the students of the college were clearly driven and wanted to make it into the media industry. This was a good first step into finding out what people saw as their way in. We travelled just down the road to the local football stadium to meet the matchday director, Paul Manning. Paul has been the matchday director for a few months now, and we wanted to get an insight into what it was like having a new job in the media industry. Here's what he had to say.
My name's Paul Manning. I'm matchday director at Millers TV at Rotherham United at the New York Stadium. Today was the game against Port Vale. We've got several people filming from the gantry today. We've got Sky Envision, and Luke's doing it for the BBC and the match feed for Rotherham United.
So Paul, I know that you're into producing for TV and producing for documentaries. Do you want to have a career in producing?
Ideally, yeah. Everything I've been studying for, all the work, the experience that I've done is leading up to a career in producing for factual programming, particularly sports broadcasting, because that's my area of interest, covering football matches, rugby matches, outside broadcasts and live events. The work experience that I've been looking at so far is doing things like Millers TV, where it's actual live broadcasting and it's going out, it's being screened, it's being transmitted live, so you have to get it right. My role for that is matchday director, so I look after the crews and decide where the camera crews are going to be, what gets covered, what footage we can play out live that we can switch to, along with the match broadcast, and we create a pre-match show as well, so that would include the sponsors' adverts, highlights from previous games, the players' arrivals, things like that, that are vision mixed together to produce a show before the actual match starts.
In terms of just the media industry as a whole, are there any other avenues you'd think about taking apart from producing? Is there anything extra?
My main interest is in producing, but I'm more than aware that in this day and age you have to become a bit of a master of quite a few things. I think you always did because it was good to see how everybody's roles fitted together so that you could work well as a team. But I think now that technology has become so much more simpler, more readily available, and it's less complicated than it used to be, I think there's more of an onus on the person who's producing something to actually be involved with the camera work and the directing and the pre-production all as one package. Okay, so this is match day at Rotherham United. We provide a service called Millers TV, which, under the brief of our contract with Rotherham United, we have to provide several things for the club and for the Football Association. What you have to provide is a live match feed to the stadium screens and to the VIP lounges and the function suites. You have to provide a DVD of the match, the full match, to the Football Association, to the opposing club and to the home team as well. And then we have to put in our pre-match show, the sponsors' adverts, and any other highlights or features that we've recorded throughout the week.
Showing the hard work and dedication in a job like producing a football match implied how much drive and dedication you need to succeed and thrive. On our journey so far, we have managed to see that there are local opportunities to be had. Being the birthplace of my media career, it's good to see Rotherham thriving and growing as a media sector. Although we gained a lot of information from Paul, I still felt unfulfilled and thought we needed to see an expert and get their opinion. We were able to get into contact with Trish Sharp, a producer in the field of media who has been working locally for years.
Okay, my name's Trish Sharp. I am the manager at Romarsh and Winter Hill City Learning Centres. For those of you that don't know anything about City Learning Centres, essentially we are digital technology centres. So everything that we do is based around film, animation, photography, anything essentially that's creative and involves technology. Our role really is to essentially work with all school-aged children and teachers to introduce them to a real creative approach of teaching the curriculum, and that's involving film and media and production. So it's a very, very exciting environment to work in, and when children and young people come into the City Learning Centres, they're very excited about the things that they see. So essentially that's what we do, and in order to enhance the curriculum we use things like film and animation, because we've found that young people and children really enjoy using these as a way of learning. So my role essentially is to organise, plan, produce, storyboard, all these things that come into the City Learning Centre on a daily basis. And so it is quite hectic. It is crazy some days, but essentially it's absolutely an amazing experience. We work with all Rotherham schools, so that's over 100 schools, come into the CLC a number of times a year, doing something creative all around production within the media industry.
So could you tell me about possible avenues people could research or people could take in the media?
For me, I think media is a really exciting potential place to work, particularly in South Yorkshire. We've got some of the best games designers, in the area. So there's lots of vibrant things happening in the Yorkshire region in terms of media. And I think really, if I was a young person now, I would really like to capitalise on that. I think in terms of film production, games design, character design, lots of those creative, exciting things. There's some brilliant resources out there for you to research, to have a go at yourself. And as technology is so advanced now, there's absolutely no reason why you can't do that research at home, you can't have a go at home. And I would encourage anybody that is genuinely quite interested in exploring this as a potential place to work to do that. It's really important that you do that research and really fire yourself up for something that potentially could be a very exciting career.
So leading on from that question, in terms of your job or just any job in the media, how easy or difficult do you see that job?
In terms of actually doing the job, I think if media is something that you love, you won't find it difficult. I come to work every day and there are days where I really just think, I wish I worked in a supermarket. Believe me, there are, but essentially I'm so passionate about what I do. When I come to work, it doesn't feel like work. It feels like I'm doing something creative that's almost a hobby that I actually get paid for. And to be in that position, I think, is incredible. As you can see behind me, we've got a black cloth. That's kind of for low-key photography. We've also got a white cloth that goes around the building as well, and that's obviously for high key. We've also got, behind here, we have our fabulous green screen. We also have a green carpet, so in here We can transform children to be whatever we want them to be. We can put them anywhere in the world. We can put any kind of backdrop in. So this is essentially a key element to our teaching and learning in the City Learning Centre, because it's obviously where the real creative stuff happens. So in terms of all the filmmaking, this generally happens in here. Okay, so now we're in the control room. So the control room, we have a number of things in here. Firstly, we have our TriCaster kit. So this is the kit that works alongside the green screen studio. So when we have young people in here, we have our actors in front of the green screen, we have our cameramen and soundmen out there operating all the cameras. We generally work on a 3-camera setup when we're here. So they do that, they do the sound. But then in here, we control the things that are going to go into the backdrop. We give directions out to the crew that are out there. So we always have a small group of children in here learning how to do the direction of everything, and to find out which backdrops look the best and where the actors need to be placed in order to enhance the backdrop as well. So it's quite a rigorous and very important role, clearly. They also press the record buttons, so clearly it is very important. So here is quite an exciting area to work, and if you're thinking about the film industry, you might not necessarily think about this element of it, but the control room element is really quite key to everything, because if you get this wrong, nothing's going to work. In here we also have our sound recording desk. Today, for example, we've got one of the local hospices are coming in to record a couple of tracks today that we're going to put into a pop video in order for them to kind of sell them and raise money for the hospice. So as you can see, we've got a beautiful 24-track channel recording studio here, and again that all links up back into the main studio area. So from here our students would be stood in the main studio area on mics in there, so we'd record the vocals directly into the desk, and then we can tweak them and make them sound brilliant. Okay, so now we're in the radio studio. We call it Remix Radio, and this is an opportunity really for young people who want to explore radio as an opportunity for employment, to come and see whether they're actually brave enough, because it's quite a difficult thing to talk continuously, although I don't find that a problem, but it is quite a difficult thing to talk continuously through a mic, introducing songs, talking about facts and figures, and making the whole radio programme quite interesting. So what we do is, with children, they come in here, they write radio scripts, they choose songs that might fit around a particular theme, and then they come along and they record radio shows. We then listen to those back, and we can pull out the things that maybe didn't quite work so well, and things that we need to improve on to make that a really interesting show. So we have lots of opportunities, lots of children come and have a go at this. It's particularly good for those people that really would like to work in radio, but actually are not confident enough at the moment to speak for themselves, because we quite often find that there are young people that come in that want to do radio production, and they want to help plan shows, but they're not quite brave enough to speak. And then the other way around, those that think, actually, I want to be a radio presenter, but when they get into the studio, they realise actually the planning of the radio show is something that much more excites them. So we get quite often young people change roles in the radio industry when they come in here. So it's a great opportunity for encouraging confidence in terms of speaking out loud, learning the technicalities obviously of running a radio show and planning a radio show, how important it is that there's lots of planning that goes into it. It's not something that you can just rock up, sit down and do. It really isn't. Okay, so now we're in what we call our performance space. It's our performance space because it's got a sprung floor. We've also got a range of tiered seating here, as you can see, which moves back to give us a much bigger space. So we can use this for drama, for practice, for rehearsals, that kind of thing. When we do pull the seating out, it's generally for a lecture theatre type environment, where we might have groups of young people in here, where we're showing them video clips, we're showing them how to storyboard, we're showing them how to animate. So we've got the seating out here, we've got a large cinema screen here as well. So what we actually do is we can project on big screen the things that we're talking about. So this is our kind of lecture style theatre, as well as our performance space. It has full lighting kit in here as well, so if we did want to do a production, we can do a production in here as well. Okay, so now we're in one of the ICT suites at the CLC. This is a Mac suite. We find as practitioners that Mac is much more creative, and that's why the centre is kitted out throughout as a Mac centre, although we do operate Windows as well. So we do have an option, so we're not restricting any learners just to one particular piece of software. So we do multi-platform, but this is the type of space that our young people will come into if they're learning about animation, editing, photography, image manipulation, that kind of thing. So generally, these are our ICT suites, and as I say, we do use Mac and Windows platforms, so we can encourage the use of all sorts of software, because what we do want to do is make sure that when the student leaves here, they have had a range of experience and a range of skills across both platforms, because that really is important in the media industry, that you can do a multiple amount of things, not just one specific area. Obviously, once you get into industry, you can then start to specialise. But at this stage, we think our role is to make sure that everyone has an experience across both platforms, and as I say, with a range of software. So this is kind of where all the creativity comes together. So this is where we edit, this is where we do our image manipulation, this is where we create our posters, our CD and DVD covers. So this is kind of like the brain space where we bring all that creativity stuff together and we put the whole things together in here.
Trish, being a media professional, I thought would be a good person to get the opinions of and to try and find out what she thought were people's way in. I also wanted to gain advice from myself and the audience about the media industry and her job role. So do you think it's tougher to get into the media now than it was 20, 30 years ago?
I think in terms of getting into the media, I think now, because technology has made filmmaking and animation and all those kinds of things more accessible to everyone in home, that to do it is easier these days. So in terms of your accessibility to having a go at it, it's much easier.
So, do you think the media industry is a viable job option?
I do actually. I think the media industry is now more attractive than it's ever been. I think that if you're passionate about it, there will be an opportunity. I think because of what media is itself, there's chances for you to create your own opportunity. How many examples have you seen of people that have put things on YouTube, for example, and all of a sudden they're either multi-millionaires or everyone's watching it and they're looking at what they're doing. So we've got more chance of exposing the work that you can do at home. And it might not be the best quality work, but the creativity and the process that you've gone through to create it, people can see that. They can see actually, they might not have the best HD cameras, but actually the process and the kind of storyboarding of that idea is amazing. So it's not just about the physical thing that you've finished up with. People can notice and see the process that you've gone through to come up with that. And I think that's really important, because for me, that's the most important thing, is having that ability to think and plan and come up with a great idea. You can always get someone in that's a camera expert to help you put the thing together, but coming up with an idea that works well and that is fabulous is something that I think needs nurturing and definitely developing. And I think if you can prove that you can do that through mediums like YouTube, then fantastic, get out there and do it.
So do you think the hard work is worth it?
I personally think that anything that you want to do, that you want to be successful at, that you want to love every day when you get up and you do it for a living, is worth the hard work. If you want to go into the media industry and do a 9 to 5, 37 hours a week, forget it. Don't even bother exploring it and don't go there. If, on the other hand, you might want to do a 16-hour day and you might have to work for 15 days without a day off, but then come up with something that's incredibly exciting, that you're totally proud to be part of, then yeah, media industry just might be for you. But if you're looking for a steady kind of 9 to 5, you're probably not really going to get that. But I think, if you've got a little bit more fire in your belly, then go for it, because the results and how you'll feel as being part of it are incredible.
In conclusion, we have had an eventful journey with a variety of different media practitioners across a range of fields within the media industry. I feel that although I have found my way in, there is still a long way to go, but also that I'm not alone. If you want to succeed in the media industry, it's going to be challenging. However, if you're like me, or the people I've met, and have a passion and drive to obtain success within the ever-growing multi-platform industry, then media is the job for you, and you shall one day find the way in.